Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Jeff, where our purpose and our mission, man, is to share impactful information, that you can use today in the areas of community, health, and wealth, from not only myself, but guest speakers that come in, humble people with powerful outcomes in their lives because they understood the gift that they find in the comeback, battling in the comeback, finding that purpose. I say it all the time. Your message is in the mess. Your purpose is lying down there waiting for you to come and get it, right? And then we share this information and we leave the audience with empowering solutions that they can use to help do the reset in life, right? Struggles show up, life shows up, roadblocks get in the way. You got to hit the reset button. We talk about looking at what worked. We talk about looking at what didn't work. We talk about what you have learned from that exercise, right? And then get you re-engaged for the next battle, re-engaged for the next challenge, re-engaged to continue moving forward and chasing your dream and your purpose, right? Look, life's about the battle and the comeback and resetting, setting daily habits, successful habits, and taking care of self-care, right? So this is what I believe, that we all have this gift, this conversation we're having with ourselves about ourselves. It goes on constantly. And I want to say to you today, I want you to think about, stop listening to whatever. And if the conversation is, if you're feeding it and it's keeping you on fire and you're moving towards your goal and your objectives, and you need to continue on with that. But for most of us that aren't there, right, that we're listening to that message that runs from past failures, that message that reminds us of all the things that didn't go right in our lives, that message that really gets down to the really nitty-gritty part about how we feel about ourselves and that low self-worth, right? That message I'm talking about. Stop listening to that and begin to replace that noise with some other things, right? Some powerful, impactful things that we were talking about, some solutions that you can use to help you overcome the struggles when life shows up, man. Because life doesn't stop. Life continues on. Life keeps moving, and we got to keep showing up no matter what. I believe this because I know we were all born for greatness. We're all meant for more, brother. So whether you have achieved that or not, or if you're achieving it and then knocking things out, continue on, then come back and let us know how you're doing it, or you're just getting started. I believe all you have to do is remember that it's possible. Whatever it is that you're chasing, whatever it is that you're looking for, that is possible to have it. My name is Jeff Tyson, and I'm known as the Comeback King. And I got that name from people who have seen me throughout my lifetime, like many of you, just continue to step through the battles, to show resilience and being relentless in my chase of whatever it is that I'm after, right? And both in community, health, and wealth, just like many of you have different experiences in your life. But we keep showing up. We keep coming back. And one of the things I keep telling you about in conversations with you is the gift and the power that we gain from standing in the comeback, not letting go, continuing to move forward, man, no matter what shows up. Oh, man, no matter what happens, like where I'm at now, how we have, realities in life. My marketing director, who's also my baby sister, we've been talking about it. She's passed last week, right? And so it's tough. It's tough to show up here, right? But she, man, she would not accept anything else other than me coming here today and continuing to move forward, no matter how I'm feeling. And I'm feeling all kinds of feelings, right? No matter what I want to do or not do. It's a commitment that we've made and a commitment that I've made to myself and to her to move forward, man. And that's life, because she's young. She's the baby of the family, man. Right? So there's all kinds of feelings and around all of that, but it just takes more energy to get moving. It takes more energy to when I'm in the reset stage. It takes a little longer to get moving, right? I got to lift a little more in that Comeback King gym. I got to get in there and grab that dumbbell and that barbell and keep working on it, keep reminding myself that we're all meant for greatness. And this is all part of the journey, man. Life is about a journey. We can't control the things that pop up in the journey. We can control how we respond to them. We can control what's our next steps, and we can control how we see the outcome, right? And the conversation we're having with ourselves about ourselves is a critical piece. It's not the only answer, but I believe it's one that we all can begin to make a change in our lives right now, today, right this very moment. I mean, I challenge you right this very moment to think about how your day has been. Think about the message that you've been giving yourself all day. Think about how you were feeling, that noise running in your head before you went to bed, and if you woke up prepared for the day, right? I always talk about this. I keep talking about it until you hear me, and then you wake up, and how do you feel in the morning? When you watch the news, or you had an argument, or you just had a tough day in general, how do you feel? And what are you doing about it? And I want to just, I guess, we've been talking about proving techniques to express your passion and vision effectively with your partner, and how to communicate all those things around your business. And I want to talk about that a little bit, but I really, really want to just kind of just peel off the layers about what I believe is critical for all of us, right? Because how many of you out there have had some success in your life, or found a new relationship, and it all worked out, and there was everything that was going good, but you ended up in the same spot you were in the previous situation? In other words, you kind of self-destructed and created a space to where you rose, the temperature in your thermometer rose, and you were way in a zone where you weren't comfortable. You're used to living at 72 degrees in your life, and maybe 80 every now and then. That's when you're moving forward. But then all of a sudden you're in the 90s and your life is on fire, right? And then 2 months later, you're right back where you started. That's self-sabotage, man. So I bring this up today because what I know about my own experiences is until I identify what I'm talking to you about, began to master the conversation I was having with myself about myself, and then realized that fed everything else. That fed how I saw myself. That fed how I thought about myself. That fed the actions that I took or didn't take, right? And the reality was, I realized, man, and I'm at the ceiling of how I see myself, what I see myself being worthy of. And a lot of times it was fear of success. Am I worthy of success? So I'm talking about this today because I want you to know that, excuse me, we got to get that fixed. All the other things, I can have your confidence sky high. I can have you motivated off the top of the charts and ready to accomplish and tackle everything you want comes along in your life. But until we really dig into that and figure out how you really, really, really see yourself, we're going to end up back where we started, right? And so, an example, I talk about it in corporate career. I saw my father as an entrepreneur. I thought that was a cool thing. And my brother was an entrepreneur, had a big business, and I knew other people that did that. But I stayed in corporate America because I thought I was supposed to. First graduated from school, but I really, as I went there, it was always a question: if I'm going to get, can I really do it? Am I really worthy of having my own business? Even though I had all these other things going on, am I really worthy? Because I hadn't really dealt with, right? And you got to do the same thing. I hadn't really dealt with that issue, those issues in my life. The things that we all carry in our bag of life. We're dragging this big old bag down the street, all the past failures, dragging this bag of disappointments. We're dragging this bag of discouragement. We're dragging this bag of rejection. And the identity that's in this bag is not healthy. That identity needs help. That identity needs reset, right? So my challenge to you when you hear this is really kind of understand what it is that you're willing to do to get that figured out, to get that little monkey off your back, to at least begin the journey away from that space, that journey into, oh man, that space where you're living in your purpose. Because it's going to take, Right. And look, I don't want to make it sound like it's just this hard, grueling task. It's a necessary piece of the journey. And it is difficult. It's not going to be really, really easy, but it's important that you hear me when I tell you it's got to happen. Because you're only going to be as high as you see yourself. You're only going to receive the things that you put out. Right? And if you're only putting out 50 degrees of energy you're running on average space, then you're going to have an average outcome. Right? But the moment you begin to understand that, man, the past has done some things to you, and yes, those things are real, and yes, all those other answers. But today is a new day, and you are worthy. You are capable of having what it is that you want. So I talk about this HOW, it's the how of life. And really it's about, you really want to get to the bottom of where this is. You really got to get honest about some things that you may look back on in the past and be a little different than what you really thought it was. And that's kind of where some of those problems were created. In other words, you got to be willing to go backwards to move forward. Right? I had to, when I finally surrendered my dressed up garbage can lifestyle, I had to go back and see where some of these, where I began that life of stuffing things, where I began that life of not liking myself, why I began that life, right? And what I need to do to change that, forgive myself. I'd be honest about how I saw it, who all the players were and what really happened versus what I thought happened versus what I wanted to happen, right? Oh, man. Well, there's a whole session around just that part, right? Being willing to go and take a look backwards so that you can move forward. So being honest about that stuff. These are things that we work on so you can get it out, so you can really be able to swim upstream, right? You guys know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about swimming upstream. Take that direction that more people are running away from because they don't see themselves being able to do that. Stand strong on that woods that are in front of you. Create your own path along the way if you have to, right? If you can't find your way. But stand into your greatness by going backwards first. And then be open-minded to things that you find, right? Hey, look, one of my things was, I'm a sensitive kid, right? But when I grew up, no such thing as a sensitive little boy. Boys are supposed to be men. All that kind of chatter, right? And so I tried to be this person that I was supposed to be, and I didn't, and I still had these feelings, so I had to learn how to pretend like I didn't and stuff them all around me, like how the stuff goes on. And that created a whole lot of other things from that, right? I had to go back and look, my parents, man, they were great parents. They did everything they could for us, man. I'm proud of my parents, but they were from that era, right? Had to accept that. And then because of the things that they didn't know had a certain effect on me or everybody else. And then you create a way of managing that and holding on to that stuff so you can get through life the best way you can. So being open to all the possibilities of why and how things happen to you, and then being willing to do the work. You got to do the work to move forward. That's just the facts of life. Don't do the work, nothing's going to change. You're going to get to that certain level, and then things are going to stay where they are. You're going to get even worse. You're going to stop trying, right? You're either not trying in this thing called life, or you're limited by how you see yourself, so you only get so far. And back to my conversation about being, I think, entrepreneur. I talked about that, corporate American life. I didn't really see myself. To be honest, being worthy of having my own business, even though I was running these, $1 million business, $100 million processing and all this stuff, and still didn't see me as that guy. But I was introduced to self-development, and I had some mentorship and some communities, and I began to understand some daily practices that changed how I saw myself. Yes, confidence is important, but how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself and how you identify with yourself are critical, man. You can be as confident as you want to, but you ever wonder why you go into this weekend with this great motivational tramp, and on Monday morning, you're doing the same thing over again. There's a lot about why that happens. But how you see yourself still exists. So I think I just, that bothers me a lot of times. You don't hear people talk about that a lot. But I feel like it's necessary as we wrap up the month of February, as we prepare to say goodbye to my friend, my sister, our marketing director, our cheerleader, or the person that made all these things happen and is going to live through us, right? I mean, she's going to continue to be present in our feelings, in our spirit, in our hearts, right? She always says, man, people, are they willing to look at themselves and then do the work? She said, Jeff, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help these people look at what they're, be able to look in the mirror at themselves, understand the power of the conversation they're having with themselves about themselves and the impact that it's having on their lives. And, oh, by the way, here's how you can begin to change that. Here's how you can begin to grow. Here's how you can begin to really take control of your life. Now, what you say to yourself changes how you see yourself. And then how you see yourself changes how your energy is. And how your energy grows, so does the focus. Right? And things begin to change and the work begins to happen for you. The results of the work start to show up. So before we talk about proven techniques to express your passion and vision and all that other stuff today, I want to just leave you with what I'm talking about. I think we had some other thoughts in the description for today. But I really just think that it's time we all face the facts that, hey, it's not as bad as we think it is. And yeah, I'm more the problem than I am the solution, but I can find a solution. And Jeff's giving me a solution. He's reminding me that I am worthy. I am capable. No more stinking thinking for me. I begin my journey new and refreshed, knowing that, yes, I have to work on the things that the lies that I've been carrying. You know, the bag, right? I set the bag down for me, but that big old bag of lies and falsehoods about who you think you are and where it all came from and all that mess. We begin to put the bag down. We pick up a new bag and we put it on this shoulder, right? And that bag is I can. That bag is I will. That bag is I must. That bag is I believe I can. That bag is I see myself now crossing that finish line. Oh man. Finally got there. But it's going to take some work. And I encourage all of you out there to remember that your self-worth, if that doesn't change, I'm looking for something here I wanted to make sure you saw or got access to. But our self-worth determines where we land. So I put in here how you can get a hold of me. It's also in the chat, but I want to have more conversations with folks that are really serious about taking their life to the next level, taking their life to that point where they know they are meant to live in and are willing to do the work. Because all these things that I got, all kind of stuff here I was going to talk about today, but I'm like, man, let's just get real with the realities of what's going to happen. Nothing changes. I don't care how excited you are. So, I don't know how to say this any other way but this. I want you to know that you deserve what it is that you've been chasing. I want you to understand giving yourself some grace is super important, because if it hasn't worked, that's okay. If you continue to struggle, that's okay. That's part of it. If you're just ready to throw in the towel, that's okay. But don't do it, man. Do not do it. So I will make sure that I have everything lined up for the month of March in terms of the workshop that we're talking about doing and getting this information out there, because I think it's important for those of you that are looking to get your family on board or do this business, whether they're on board or not, or kind of just you're almost there and you need some help to get them on the other side. There's really some cool things that we have in store for you. But I just felt compelled to just say, hey, let's stop wondering why things are happening and let's become the solution instead of the problem. Let's take advantage of the opportunities that we know now about the conversation we're having with ourselves about ourselves, and the fact that nothing really changes until we understand that we've got to get our self-worth in line. And there's some things that we can do to help you do that. Just remember the how, being honest about your life, being open-minded. When you look back over it and have some guidance, I can give you the guidance to kind of see where those things are, right? And then some you might need even more help, but that's okay. And then being willing to do the work, no matter what, man, no matter what. And here's how you become willing. You find out what that desire is that's burning inside of you. Own that desire. As I wrap this thing up, own the desire of being the business owner for your family. Own that desire of having the best family and relationship that you really want to have. You've got everything else, so now you want to put the family together. Or you want to get healthy, right? You have grandkids like we do, and you want to eliminate the excessive weight and the aches and the pains, and you want to be able to run freely and jump and swim, all those things. Own that. Find that burning desire, man, where you will run through a brick wall. Nothing will stop you from getting it. Nothing will get in your way. Nobody and nothing will stop you, man. And it will work. So anyway, I'm sure I don't know. I have to go back and check this message out because I feel like I'm all over the place today. But, I come to you as best I can with a heavy heart. Come to you as best I can because I'm supposed to be here no matter what. I come to you and I ask you to remember this, that you are worthy. You are meant for greatness. And it's possible for whatever it is that you've been chasing to still come to pass. Don't give up. Stay strong. Stay connected to Conversations with Jeff. Share this information with all your folks. Hit me up directly and let's have deeper conversations about how we can help you get to the other side. And remember, the stinking thinking no longer has to be the restriction. Let that be your fuel. Let that be your energy. Take that stinking thinking, grab yourself, have that conversation with self and say, not today. I'm not listening to that crap. I'm changing the story. I'm changing the narrative. I'm taking the right action. And I'm going to go back and take a look at what's in my way and smash it. So, we'll just say to you as I wrap this up, I'll have the information for those that have been asking for Stev's information. Services are this Saturday in Youngstown, Ohio. That's where she's from, Youngstown, Ohio, where we grew up. And exciting times ahead, in spite of the sorrow, sadness, and pain. Exciting times ahead. We want you to come along on the journey. So I thank you. I thank you. I thank you today. And if I didn't get what you expected, I apologize. I'll do better next month. So thank you again for listening. Remember, you are worthy. Nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop you from reaching your destiny. You shall not be denied. I'm going to say it with me. Nothing will stop us from reaching our destiny. We will not be denied. Move this thing forward. Keep coming back. Remember the how in your life. And we'll see you on the next episode. Conversations with Jeff. Take care. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.